Hey guys, so we're back again with another reading, and this is your 2023 forecast. That sounds so weird to say. I can't believe we're already at the beginning of a new year, but we're going to see what's going on for you next year, whether it has to do with love, career, family, life advice. We're going to get into all of it and see what you can expect next year and get some guidance for you going into this new year that we have coming up ahead. And today we have a beautiful selection of crystals for you guys to choose from. If it's your first pick a card reading, you want to go towards the one your energy is feeling called to and drawn to. So don't overthink it too much. Just go with your first instinct and the one that seems to be calling your name, and that will be the one with the message for you inside that pile. I am going to put the numbers up on the screen so you can see which one is which. And if at any point you already feel called to your pile, you can feel free to scroll down and skip ahead to your pile. Just go to the timestamps in the description and in the comments as well. And I do want to mention to you guys that if you would like to see more of my content, you can head on over to my Patreon to check out all my additional readings. I just posted one about what you need to be aware of right now, and when you sign up, you'll get access to all my existing readings, over 35 additional readings about love, life, career, spirituality, family, all kinds of topics. There's so much to choose from, and it would probably take forever to actually get through all my content. So go ahead and check that out. The link for that is in my description and in the comments, underneath the timestamps in the comments as well. I would love to have you guys over there joining our little Patreon community. Like I said, new readings get posted all the time, and of course you get access to all the existing content. So I hope to see you there. And if you would like a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website. You can see all my different offerings and get a half-hour reading with me or a full-hour reading with me, and I would love to do that for you. So with all of that being said, that's about all I have to say. If you guys need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need, but we are going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey pile one, and welcome to your reading. We're going to do a live shuffle starting off with some oracle cards and get the theme, the major theme for pile one for 2023. Spirit, please give us some answers. Overflow, overwhelm, and plenty. Wow. Okay, so that is a very strong message of abundance. I am getting a message that you guys are going to have your year. There's a lot of change happening for you. So the end of your year is going to look very different from the beginning of your year and from your life right now. It feels like there's going to be a kind of sea change, and there might be a moment of you guys adapting and trying to figure it out, because I feel like a lot of this is new to you. Maybe if you guys have been financially lacking, you're going to take a minute to adjust to like, wow, suddenly all my bills are paid and I can afford luxuries and like fun things on the side. And before I was struggling to like clip coupons and I could barely pay for things. And now suddenly I am deciding about which super nice purse I want to buy for myself or whatever it is. I feel like you guys are going to take a minute to switch up and change to this because it feels like something you're not quite used to. Like there's a process here with leveling up, and your guides are letting me know that they are with you in this process and they're watching over it. So don't be afraid. I feel like some of you guys are going to be a little afraid because you're not used to this yet. You're not ready for it fully. Like this is going to be so different for you guys. I feel like the level of abundance and power that you're stepping into, it just takes you a minute to figure it all out. And as I'm saying that, thank you, Spirit, for confirming what I'm getting. Horseman, herald of change. So honestly, I feel like you guys are in this process of transforming and alchemizing right now in your life. And you guys are going to really see this theme play out in 2023. I'm almost seeing someone like strap in to a horse. It's funny we got that horse because I'm seeing someone like on a horse and the horse just like starts taking off running. And that has happened to me when I was younger and my family went to a dude ranch, and it takes you a minute because you have to like ride a certain way to gallop. So at first you're just like bouncing up and down on the saddle and it feels totally out of control. It's highly uncomfortable. And then you start like learning to adjust the way you sit on the horse and like moving with the horse, moving your legs in time with the horse. And then it becomes super comfortable. But that's the image Spirit just showed me so clearly, is someone on a horse and it suddenly takes off at a run and they're just like, oh my my God, what is going on? This is crazy. So for some of you guys, this is going to be more financial abundance and career success. I feel like for a lot of you guys, there's going to be more notoriety in 2023, and you're going to be noticed over the course of this year. I want to get some tarot next. Spirit, can you please give us some tarot card guidance for pile 1 about what's going to be happening for them in 2023, the major themes of the year for them, what they should expect, the changes they're going to be going through, and all of that. 10 of Wands, okay. So all the 10 cards are about completion energy and about something kind of reaching a certain level of success or ending or completion. And so for you guys with that 10 of Wands, this is what I'm talking about with the adjustment, because I feel like at first in 2023, you guys might be a little burnt out because it's like you're adjusting to this. And there might be a sense in you of like, oh my God, if I don't keep working really hard, this money is going to go away, or the success I'm trying to work for, I'm never going to achieve it. And you're taking on too many projects. And I do feel like by the end of the year, you've learned how to like moderate that. With the Justice card, I'm seeing some of you guys are going to start learning how to delegate, or to ask other people for help, or to be like, no, I just can't quite do that. And you might be even like employing services like legal services or an accountant or something like that to help you manage some of this incoming abundance. I do feel like though, with that 10 of Wands, you know, the Wands are a story of like fighting and achieving and working hard for something. And I do feel like you guys are going to reach some success and completion with whatever it is you've been working on. And I do feel like it just takes a moment for you to switch into like, okay, so now I achieved that. What the heck is next? How am I supposed to operate in this way? Maybe you have been fighting and struggling for so long that the idea to you of like just sitting back and relaxing is totally crazy. And you're like, that's impossible. Like, how am I supposed to do that? I've had to fight for everything. And you're telling me you want me to sit back and relax? You must be crazy. But I feel like Spirit is sending me a message to you guys that you are going to be divinely protected. And by the end of 2023, I see you guys going through this process of alchemizing throughout the year. And by the end, you have really mastered this, and you've learned to start saying no to projects, and you've learned that the abundance is your birthright, and it's not going to go away if you put up some boundaries and rules and stuff. Let's get more cards for pile 1 for 2023. What is going to be a theme for 2023? Very new. Okay, the Fool. And I do feel like with that Fool energy coming in, some of this stuff is very hidden. You know what? This is so odd. This is literally so odd because I knew the 3 of Cups was going to come out as I was pulling the Fool. I literally was like, it's going to be the 3 of Cups. And I saw the 3 of Cups so clearly in my mind. And it's just crazy when that happens during a tarot reading. Because I do feel like a big theme of this is some of you guys have been like working like a dog. You know, you have been working really hard, and maybe you have this idea in your mind that the only way to succeed is to have, you know, blood, sweat, and tears, and you have to like absolutely be breaking your back, like we can see in the 10 of Wands. That's what he's doing, you know, and you guys are going to start realizing that when you think about a lot of really successful people, they're not actually necessarily in the office 24/7, right? A lot of them are on like a yacht chilling in the south of France, or a lot of them are on vacation to like their skiing home or whatever. And, you know, of course, I know that like there's hard work that sometimes has to be done to achieve things, but also there's something to be said for having that energy of expectancy that like builds upon itself of like, I can sit back and relax and I'm just going to enjoy. And I feel like you guys are starting to tap into that, and you're starting to give yourself this space to really think about what you guys are going to do. This is so cool because I just got the strongest vision of some of you guys, and I know you're going to be like skeptical. Some of you in this pile, like my introverts, are going to be like, no way, this is not me. But I just saw it so clearly in my mind, someone in a nightclub or a bar, restaurant type situation, having the time of their life, talking with friends, meeting new people, and socializing a lot. I actually feel this is a major theme for you guys. Some of you guys have been closed off in hermit energy for the longest time, and you have been thinking that in order to achieve this stuff, you're gonna have to work so hard and you can't take any breaks and it's all gas, no breaks. And now you're gonna start realizing that it's okay to take the scenic route and there's more than one way to get to your destination. Yes, you can take the super highway and like be stressed the whole time. I mentioned this before that I used to have to make this drive in college to visit my grandmother because she lived about 3 years away. Mercury is transiting over, Saturn is transiting over my Mercury, and I keep messing up the most basic phrases. She lives 3 hours away, so I used to have to take this highway. And at first when I was taking it, I would speed, and that highway is notorious for like cops being there and like speed traps and stuff. So I would be speeding and I would be like constantly looking out on the horizon and checking to see if my phone beeped of like there's a cop ahead, but I would be looking because it would hide. And I realized, I remember I was like speeding past this person, and then inevitably we'd always get stuck in traffic in the city she lives in. So I would, you'd be stocked up in traffic, and I had remembered passing someone like way back, like 30 minutes before. And next thing I know, I look around and they're like next to me or whatever. And that's when I realized, what's the point of me speeding, stressing myself out, going like 10 miles over the speed limit, which only gives you like a 10-minute advantage anyway. So if there's any traffic, that's kind of ruined, and anyway, it occurred to me that it was just going to be so much easier if I took those trips and I was just calm, chill, just stuck over in the right lane and just was relaxed and enjoyed it and looked out at the scenic countryside around me. And I enjoyed those trips so much more after that. I wasn't having high blood pressure, like trying to speed and then slowing down and then getting nervous and then freaking out. And I was just like relaxed, minding my business, put on some music, put on a podcast or a YouTube video or whatever, put on a pick a card. I do that a lot. Like obviously you don't pick the pile while you're driving, but like, maybe you pick the pile in the gas station and then you go on the road while you're driving. But anyway, it just was such a much more enjoyable way to drive. And I feel like for you guys, you're learning this lesson that like life is so vitally important when you take time out to enjoy others, when you take time out to look after your emotional well-being, because the Three of Cups is a cup card and it really is about emotionality. It really is about respecting our emotions and how we can find that in other people, how we can find that in our relationships and having fun and enjoying and going out and maybe having a little night out on the town or something. But I do feel like some of you guys are going to meet some very impactful people in your life as well in this upcoming year that even could help you with your business. Like maybe you think the only way for you to succeed in this business or whatever you're doing, your career, might be, okay, I have to put my nose to the grindstone and like never leave my office and just be working 24/7. But actually you might be surprised that you meet someone that has a connection that introduces you to this person and then it like takes you there 10 times as fast. So yeah, that socializing for you guys is going to be a major theme in this upcoming year. And a lot of you guys are leaving hermit mode, going out and going to be really enjoying yourself for the first time in a long time. Can we get more guidance for what's happening for pile 1? Can you clarify the Fool? What does the Fool have to do with Spirit? Okay, so we got the Judgment card. I'm going to read it upright. I'm just feeling called to read them all upright today for some reason with you guys. What does the Fool have to do with? So the Judgment card is really, again, there's this completion energy hanging around you guys, and the Judgment card is a card of completion and then of a new beginning. And I feel like that's a major theme for you guys, and it's almost like they don't want to really, but you know what, the Page of Pentacles, there it is, clarifying. So a new business, new way of making money, new lifestyle about that. I think you guys might be surprised that maybe you think that like there's one way for you to make money and Spirit brings something else into your mindset. So this could be a new job, or it could be a new side hustle. It could be a new financial opportunity that's quite lucrative for you. Or it might be if you already are like an entrepreneur or something, you have this idea for another business or something like that. And I do feel like this is going to give you a lot more space in your life. I'm also getting the vibe that a a lot of you guys are going to be moving locations. You are going to be finding a new house, new home. And I do feel like there's something about wherever you live, you being much more tied into the community or having more opportunities to interact. Like maybe you were living out in the country and you really loved it, but the new place you live is kind of more in a city, and you end up becoming friends with someone who lives nearby, and then you always walk to the park together, and then you meet someone else at the park, and like then you become friendly with someone at your local corner shop or whatever, or your local little coffee shop or something. And next thing you know, you kind of have this little community around you. But I do feel like there's something about you guys being more plugged into the world and just like a fresh, honestly, I feel like pile one, you guys are going through such deep transformations in this upcoming year that it's even hard to say, because I don't feel like Spirit wants me to like tell you everything. I don't think Spirit wants to show me everything you're going to be changing in. I feel like a lot of you guys, I'm seeing someone be uprooted. Like, I don't do this, but I know my friends who have plants, you have to like replant the plant every year or so. I don't know how often, because again, I don't have to do this, but you like have to take the plant out and put it in a new pot. And I feel like that's what you guys are having happen to you. Like everything is just being switched up, changed up, altered for you. And I honestly think you're a little scared about this, but you're really going to like it. Spirit, can you give me guidance? What is going to be happening for pile one in 2023? The Temple Path, Angel of Love. Some of you guys in this pile and the world, talk about a completion card. There's a strong, like I was saying, completion energy. Something about you guys taking something off that it feels like it was a long time coming, or reaching a level with your career where it's like you can finally stop and focus on other things. You can finally have a level of like, okay, that's done, and now I'm ready to move on to whatever else. It's not to say that you're like relieved that it's over, or you're like, I'm just ready for this to end, but I feel like it just comes to a perfect conclusion for you. It feels like it's just seamlessly kind of switching up and altering and winding to an end, and now you're ready for this next level. Because I do feel like some of you guys are going to be switching either careers or jobs to something that honestly fits you a lot better and is a lot easier for you, or switching something within your job. So maybe like you can change your schedule up, or you can change the department you work for, but you're staying at the same company. But it's a major switch, I do feel, within your job. Also with Angel of Love and then Man Holding a Coin, I have to say, I feel like you guys are possibly going to be dating a lot more this year. And it feels like, first of all, you're enjoying and having fun. Some of you guys have been very closed off to love for a really, really long time. You haven't had any desire to be in love at all. You've been kind of just biding your own time and just sticking in your own energy. And it feels like now, once some of this career stuff gets put to bed, you're like, okay, I can focus on this other facet of my life, and I'm ready to give myself my attention to this other arena. And it's almost like things that might have annoyed you in the past aren't going to be annoying you anymore. So maybe in the past, when you would go out and you'd be surrounded by like drunk people at a nightclub, that would just really irritate you, and you wouldn't have fun, and you'd be in a bad mood, and you'd be like, this sucks. And now suddenly you're vibing and you're enjoying yourself, or you're dating, and before in the past, like you were super picky or something like that, or just like you had no interest, you know what I mean? And now I feel like your mindset is shifting, and you're kind of seeing things a lot more positively. So even if someone, like you're on a date with, so I'm not saying you're going to be on like annoying dates or something, but I just feel like there's a part of you that's much more energetically open to all of this, and not so like stuck in your own energy. So let me get some astro dice for pile one. Can you clarify what's going to be happening for pile one in 2023? So we got Mars, Scorpio, and the fifth house. That's so perfect for you guys. So I was just thinking about how powerful Mars and Scorpio is like right before this reading. So that's really funny. Maybe some of you guys do have Mars and Scorpio in the fifth house. But you know, that's really interesting because Mars and Scorpio obviously both have to do with sex and sexuality. And I really do feel like for some of you guys, you have been a little closed off. It might have been a while since you've like dated, or it might have been a while since you were like super close to someone. And I feel like this is a theme. You know, also Scorpionic energy is about the 8th house. It's about joining up with someone else and really like syncing souls with them and really merging and being very open. And I just feel like for the longest time, you guys have wanted, you haven't even been interested. You've only wanted your own energy. Another thing about Mars is that is desire. And I feel like that's the difference, is like for the first time in a long time, you really have the desire to do this. You really aren't like, it's not like your friends are dragging you out to the club and forcing you to dance. It's like you want to go. You're excited to go. You can't wait to go. 5th house is also like hobbies and your interests and the things that bring you joy. And it's also a romance house. So I do feel like for you guys, it's just like you have a lot more time and bandwidth in your life to pay attention to these things and to give it your energy. I feel like you guys in pile 1 have been doing shadow work for so long that you've been really, really closed off to everything else. You haven't really had the energy to do anything else. Mars is also energy. So there's a lot of energy coming through in this pile. I want to get some of these cards too. Spirit, can you give me guidance for pile 1? What's going to be happening in 2023? So we got mindful groupthink, sky dancers, surrender, joyful music, joyful muse, inspiration. I do feel like you're going to be going out and like dancing and you're just going to be enjoying yourself. And then we got these 2 cards that just came out, Dust Devil, moving out of stagnation, and the Further Gate, bold step forward. So I do feel that, again, like we were talking about, this is all about you guys really changing this up and learning how to almost just embrace and have fun. But truly, you guys are going to have so many things altered in your life. I almost feel like your life has been put on pause and someone's pressing play for the first time. And suddenly everything starts happening. Some of you guys are also going through a physical transformation right now where you might be changing up your fitness routine or your diet. I am hearing that if right now you're not feeling super confident with your appearance, that is going to change by March specifically, and that you are going to really love how you look and just be feeling yourself. There's going to be something you might learn, like maybe a friend of yours introduces you to a fitness routine or tells you about like, oh, this ingredient is super healthy, I put it in all my meals or something. And you know, maybe it's something like avocado or I don't know, but suddenly you start eating that way and you just feel really good. You feel really healthy. You feel really high vibrational. I just feel like you're going to start feeling really confident. And if you have been not feeling your best, I feel like that's kind of like part and parcel with this hermit mode, this kind of withdrawal from the world that you guys have been going through lately. But Spirit is going to start altering that and clearing that out. And you're going to start being like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to go out. I'm ready to have fun. I'm ready to enjoy myself. And I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be working on some creative hobbies as well. If you've had an inspiration or a dream to do something like write a book or film for YouTube or make a TikTok or do photography just for fun or cook or whatever, any kind of hobby, I definitely feel like you're going to feel really inspired to make some creative project for yourself that is going to be your way of expressing yourself. I feel like you guys are really taking off. I just saw the image of a paper plane like drifting off on a big gust of wind. And it feels like that's what's happening in your life before maybe things felt like they just kind of weren't moving forward. And for 2023, it feels like there's so much activity. You are going to be meeting a lot more people and friends and new people. Like I feel like for some of you, maybe you have been pessimistic in the past about relationships or friendships, but I'm hearing a lot of that is due to the fact that you had some very unsavory people around you, people that you couldn't really trust or open up to. So yes, you kept yourself at bay, and a lot of that was like a survival mechanism because you were dealing with people who were kind of unscrupulous and kind of shady. And look, I love, by the way, speaking of unscrupulous and shady, I just want to point out that you guys really didn't get any negative tarot cards. The only possible negative one might be the Ten of Wands, but honestly, I feel like a lot of that has to do with the completion energy of Wand energy. So Wand energy is about fighting and battling and kind of jockeying for position. And I feel like you guys have ended that cycle in a way and you're ready to move on now. So I don't even think that's negative, but I do feel like at the beginning of the year, you're still in this process of learning to put up some boundaries and learning to give yourself the permission to have a really happy life, and that you don't have to be in hermit mode. I think a lot of you guys have been in that mode, like I was saying, out of fear or out of the way other people have treated you in the past. So you were like, okay, let me just withdraw. Let me not do any of this. Now it's like, I'm hearing like how Stella got her groove back. So it's like you're getting your groove back. You're starting to feel yourself again. And I just heard I'm Feeling Myself by Beyonce. So I feel like you kind of get your mojo back. You start like just feeling good. You might also, some of you guys are going to be changing your hair up, but again, physical appearance changes I feel like are big for you guys at the beginning of the year. And you guys are going to be altering a lot with that. So I want to get some of these cards to kind of end off this reading. So can you give us some clarity and guidance for pile 1 in 2023? What's going to be happening for them in 2023? We got grounding, go deep, explore your roots. Okay. So some of you guys might be making trips home or almost doing things to like, to touch into your ancestry. You might be doing ancestor like rituals, like making an altar for your ancestors, or researching genealogy, or taking a visit back to your wherever your ancestors are from, like the city or the country they're from, or maybe just spending more time with family. I feel like a lot of this happens at the beginning of the year as well. But I feel like for some of you guys, there's more contact happening with family, or you're enjoying spending time with them more. Not for everyone. I know some people aren't super close with their families, but you might, so take it how it resonates. It might just be like you're more in, if you come from a certain culture, which of course everyone does, everyone comes from a culture, you start like doing research about that culture and getting in touch with the traditions and like even visiting it. I'm hearing for some of you guys, you're going to travel and visit like the place your ancestors grew up in 1,000 years ago or whenever, and that's going to be really impactful for you. We also got fellow travelers. So again, this energy of a move, I do feel like the beginning of the year is taken up more with this energy of you kind of trying to figure out what's going on for you. So where do you want to go? Where are you going to move? And then I feel like in June, there's going to be more of a settled energy happening for you, where you're much clearer on the direction your year is taking when it comes to career, and also when it comes to like where you're moving or other big decisions you're making. All of this seems to kind of come into some kind of a head or a breakthrough, as this says, by June. I feel like that's when you'll really have an idea of like, oh, so that's the direction this is heading in. And we do have a breakthrough is at hand and overcoming obstacles. So if you guys have been in this difficult 10 of Wands energy that I am feeling like you have been in for a while, that has been happening for you for the past who knows how long, just know that this is going to start tapering off, especially like I was saying, March, April, you're going to get much more of a loosening of the reins. And by June, I feel like it's kind of like the clouds part and you're like, oh, that's what was going on. Okay. So I'm supposed to be doing this, and you have more clarity. And by the end of the year, by next December, I feel like you guys are truly thriving. You're in the right place. You love where you're at. And you are much more connected with community and with people around you. And it feels like you just are in a very happy place. So this is a beautiful reading for 2023, guys. I see so many career breakthroughs, more financial stability for a lot of you, having much more like disposable income and having much more time to do the things you really love. And by the end of the year, I feel like you've really mastered this career thing and figured out how to have a lot more balance. So it's not just about the money, it's about the freedom that money gives you, and about this extra room you have in your life now for the things you really love. So yeah, I think that is what I have for you, pile one. I really hope it resonated. Let me know if it did in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys about what you have going on. That was maybe this 10 of Wands energy that we've been starting off the year with, and all the things you think this might have to do with this breakthrough and this clarity. Let me know. I would love to hear from you, and make sure to give this reading a like as well. Hit the thumbs up if it did resonate, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here, and also turn on notifications if you guys want to find out as soon as I post. Also, if you'd like to see more of my readings, you can head to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings, so you'll get access to 35 existing readings all about love, career, spirituality, relocation, which is something you guys might need to watch. But yeah, there's a lot of things to watch over there and so much content to choose from. So I would love to have you there over on Patreon, guys. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm wishing you guys a beautiful start to the new year, and I will see you guys very soon. Take care. Bye. Hey pile 2, welcome to your reading. We're going to start off with a live oracle shuffle to get you guidance for 2023, what's going to be happening for pile 2 in 2023. Spirit, can you please give us an oracle card? I kind of love it when one won't come out for a while, because I feel like it's an extra special card. We got Galactic Mushroom, the Divine Matrix. Okay. And Cosmic Womb, the Divine Feminine. So, especially for my feminines, there might be a theme this year of you tapping into your feminine energy. And the thing about Galactic Mushroom and Cosmic Womb is they both kind of have to do with spirituality, and with kind of this realm of interconnectedness that we all live in. And I feel like for you, this is about maybe learning to be a little bit more receptive in 2023, having things come to you, having things flow to you. If some of you guys have been trying to get pregnant, that could definitely be a theme, pregnancy, if you picked this card. So be aware of that. If that's something that you guys want, it definitely could be something that comes through. I also feel like for all of you guys who picked this is about learning to be in your receptive energy. So learning to manifest not by trying really hard, but by allowing something to flow in and to kind of come to you easily. And then we have Galactic Mushroom, the Divine Matrix. So I feel like you guys in pile 2 are going to have really amazing relationships this year, and being connected to others is going to be a major theme. You might be having someone who wants to come into your life to take care of you, to look after you. It could be a romantic relationship or a romantic partner or a friend or something like that. But I feel like you guys are going to learn kind of how to receive, how to sit back and be in your feminine energy and not feel like you have to give so much. Let's get some tarot cards for pile 2. Spirit, can you please give me a tarot card to let us know what's happening for pile 2 in 2023? Okay, so we just got the 9 of Swords. And the 9 of Swords can talk about worrying. This is kind of beginning of the year energy. Okay, so we got 9 of Swords and the Tower. So like I was saying, this is kind of beginning of the year energy. So you might be starting off with this year kind of worried and kind of not in the best place. I don't know if some of you guys have been feeling really stressed lately, or there might be something that needs to come to an end, something that in your life is not necessarily built on a super strong foundation. And the thing about the Tower card is it doesn't rip down anything that's not supposed to be ripped down. It's followed by the Star card in the progression of tarot. So anything that's supposed to go and to allow us to access that special destiny moment of the Star is going to leave. And I do feel like for you guys, this is going to be a very strong destiny moment. Some of you guys might also have soul ties to people who haven't been treating you super well or haven't been like as receptive to you. I feel like for some of you guys, you have maybe had a twin flame or soulmate situation that has kept you tied to it, kept you thinking about them, or kept you like very much kind of not moving forward. Like there might be something tied to an ex or a twin flame or a soulmate that you keep thinking about them, and it keeps you from really stepping into the energy of a new relationship and really being able to focus and give your all to this new relationship because you're thinking about the past. And so at the beginning of the year, it feels like you get some clarity on that you really need to, and you're able to kind of have that finally come to an end. Or anything, I'm not saying for all of you, if you're in a super stable relationship, this could be a different energy. This is just something I'm channeling for some of you, where there might be a connection to a past ex or twin flame that you're not even realizing is holding you back. And once the beginning of the year rolls around, you get some really strong clarity. And I just saw a raven fly across the window. So yeah, I do feel like there's an energy of things ending that really aren't serving you anymore and might be causing you anxiety. You might not even realize it. It could also be like toxic family members or people that you just feel very tied and connected to. And almost like I'm feeling some of you guys, you don't realize your own power. Like you're feeling chained and connected to someone, and you don't realize that at any point you can take that power back, that you don't have to tolerate it. You don't have to sit around. Oh, why can't I talk? Mercury, I'm having Saturn transit over my Mercury, so I keep messing up basic words. But you don't have to sit around and wait for someone to like come choose you or whatever. And you don't have to tolerate less than you deserve in any kind of relationship, be it with family, friends, romantic, anything, work. And I feel like you guys are really figuring that out. So at the beginning of the year, there's some necessary endings that are going to be taking place in your life. There are some things that are going to be leaving your life, and it feels like those things have got to go anyway. Let's see what's going to be happening in 2023. Six of Swords. So with it being reversed, you might not want to fully leave. There might be a part of you that's like, I'm still really attached to this. Maybe it's a job that's like toxic and you hate it, but you definitely don't want to leave. Or you're like, I need the money, I have to stay. And you don't even realize that like you have so many options and opportunities, and that you'll be so happy in this new workplace. So for some of you guys, maybe initially, there's something that ends that you're not quite ready for it, and you're feeling like you want more time with it, or you're feeling like you didn't have time to fully address it. A good way to anticipate this would be to figure out what this is early, and then you can take steps to mitigate it. So it's kind of like if you have a really difficult roommate situation and you kind of want to leave, but then you go back and forth about it and you're not sure, then maybe start looking for a new place to live now, because it might come to a crazy end at the beginning of the year. Or if you're at a job you really hate, start sending out your resume and applying to like new jobs now. Start, putting your feelers out and like talking to people and asking if they've heard of any openings at their place of work. But I feel like you guys are going to, like, this ending that happens, it's a good thing, even though it might not feel like it. In the moment, it might feel like a negative thing or like a downer. It's actually a really good thing. Let me get some more cards for pile 2 for 2023. What's going to be happening for them? Okay, so we just got the Knight of Cups. So this is where the positivity starts coming in. For a long time, you guys have not been prioritizing your own happiness and your joy and the things that really bring you joy. And I feel like by the middle of the year, whatever is clearing out of your life at this time, this difficult thing that needs to go, is going to give you a lot more space for thinking about what you really love. And this even could be a new relationship for a lot of you, but guys, because Spirit is showing me a really strong image of like a woman that doesn't want to leave her boyfriend, and she's always making excuses for him, and he doesn't treat her well, he's really mean to her, whatever. All her friends are like, break up with him, but she doesn't want to. And it's like the day she breaks up with him, she meets a really cute new guy at a coffee shop, and he treats her amazingly and he's obsessed with her. So much of the time we get very stuck in this rut. We think that like there's only one way for us to do things, or that like I've always been at this job, I have to work this job, what else can I do? Not realizing that there's a million jobs for us and there's a million different opportunities. And if something's not supposed to work out, the best thing you can do is just allow that to slip away. And the best thing thing you can do to mitigate these kind of tower moments that sometimes happen in our life that are necessary endings is to see that kind of the writing on the wall and start being like, okay, I'm not going to get super attached to this. I'm going to start maybe clearing out other sectors of my life so I have more space. I'm not going to like cry over spilled milk. I'm not going to be obsessed or feel like there's one way for me to be happy. I'm going to be very clear-headed about this, very clear-minded, and I'm going to just let this flow away from me and welcome in whatever the new thing is, because Spirit will never take something out of your life without replacing it. So for a lot of you guys, this might be a new relationship. It depends on what's ending, because I feel like, you know, Spirit's not necessarily saying exactly what it is, and it's probably going to apply differently for different people in pile 2. For some of you guys, I am seeing a toxic job work situation. For others, maybe a toxic relationship or a past connection to a twin flame soulmate that you still haven't moved on from. And whatever it is, I feel like at the beginning of the year, you get that clarity and you get that thing that you're like, okay, I get it now. And suddenly you're kind of ready to leave it, and whatever needs to fall through starts falling through. And you don't even realize that by clearing this out of your life, you're allowing space and room for the universe to replace it with something much better. So we can only really invite in the new once we clear out the old and get rid of those old like dysfunctional patterns. And I do feel like a theme for you guys in 2023 is kind of questioning why you ever put up with this, or why you ever thought you didn't deserve more, and why you ever felt like, well, I just have to tolerate this. This is as good as life gets. I don't have a choice, and this is just how it goes. Like, why did you ever believe that in the first place? Because I feel like you guys are going to be much more in touch with your power by the end of next year. And you're going to kind of look back and be like, oh my God, I remember that I thought that this was like the only job I could ever work. And isn't that so hilarious? Or I remember thinking that this guy that like I had a toxic relationship with was the only guy I could ever date and was my soulmate. And now I'm in love with the love of my life, and maybe even pregnant. I mean, not all of you guys, but if that's something you want. And look at my life. It's amazing. So I think you guys are going to realize that the things that needed to go in your life are going to end. So if you're in like a rocky marriage, this might be a divorce. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Or if you're in a, you know, really bad working situation with a boss that really stresses you out, this might be, you end up, you know, leaving the job. And so I feel like you just need to very much think about whatever this is, however it's resonating for you, is going to be your answer to what is going to be coming to an end. Let's get some more cards for pile 2. Spirit, what's happening for them in 2023? Can you tell us about the middle of the year? Okay, so like I was saying, I've been going on and on about it. I'm not going to like beat a dead horse, but we have the Fool. The Fool is a new, fresh beginning, and that cannot come in until we move through this. These beautiful cards that we're having come in can't move in until we go through this 6 of Swords and we're finally ready to leave it in the past. We're finally ready to leave it behind, because at the beginning of the year and right now, it feels like you're still kind of clinging to it, or you're not fully ready to let this go, whatever this is. And I feel like by I'm hearing June. So by the middle of the year, it feels like whatever it is has already passed and ended. And now you're stepping into like, okay, I'm able to have something new happening, and I have the space in my life for it. And you're starting to see whatever this is. You might already have it come in for you. I'm also hearing April, so the timeline is going to be different for when this appears, but I feel like by June, a lot of you guys are going to have at least a good idea of whatever this is, and it's going to start taking form and start taking shape in your life, and you're going to kind of see the writing on the wall, or see at least where it's headed if you're not there already. But this is going to be a new thing. It could be a new career, new job, new relationship, but Spirit is really emphasizing that it can't come in until you get rid of the old. Let's get another card for pile 2. So we just got the Knight of Swords being reversed. So that's really interesting that you got the Knight of Cups and then the Knight of Swords coming out reversed. So the Knight of Swords can talk about, and this is something I was also picking up for some of you guys, it can also talk about like public speaking or even, you know, social media or filming a YouTube video or something like that. If that's something you guys have been maybe wanting to do, I feel like you get clarity on how to really go about that in a really smart way. Like, if you're, or it could even be something like writing, and you start getting a lot of guidance and downloads about how to become a better writer, or how to become a better speaker on your YouTube, or how to film really entertaining TikTok videos. But I feel like a lot of you guys are growing in this and really learning how to like kind of present yourself better. I feel like some of you guys have anxiety around this. You might have anxiety attached to public speaking, or even something with like talking to your boss really makes you nervous, and you're starting to get a feeling of like, yeah, I just feel really strong anxiety suddenly in my chest. I don't know if you guys have like panic attacks or you get short of breath when you get nervous, but that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. It's really funny. And I feel like you're starting to step into your power by the middle of the year. So if you have been having anxiety, Nine of Swords can also talk about that. That is going to start working itself out, and you're going to realize that you have more power over these situations than you thought, and you're not going to feel so out of control when it happens. If you do have like a panic attack or something, it's almost like you're taking the power back, and you're going to start realizing that you are the ultimate creator, and like you can create whatever life you want, and that you are amazing and, you know, special and perfect in your own way, and that you don't have to tolerate these nasty or negative things or bad treatment from others. A lot of you guys are going to be finding your voice in 2023, and by the end of the year, I feel like you guys are really stepping into being a lot more assertive. Let's get some more oracle cards to figure out what is happening for you. Yep, look at that. What was I just saying? And look, that flew out. Walking away. You guys are walking away from something at the beginning of the year, but with that Tower card, you can kind of have the choice of walking away. But if you don't take it, you know, when the universe is done with something, it's done with something. And even I can think of like times in my life, even though I tried to be very much into non-attachment, when maybe I didn't feel fully ready for a change. Like maybe I was pretty comfortable where I was, and then spirit, you know, puts you in a new situation, and at first you're like, oh, well, why is this ending? I'm comfortable. But it's almost always like an upgrade. Like I'm seeing the image of someone who's like comfortable in a hotel room or something. They're like, no, I don't really want to move. But then someone's like, well, you have to move. Like we're not, you can't be in that room anymore. And then they upgrade them to like the master suite, you know, or maybe they're happy in their airplane seat at the back of the airplane, and then they get moved into first class, you know. And maybe at first, when they're first being told like pack up your belongings, you can't be in the back of the plane anymore, they're thinking like, oh my god, this is horrible, this is awful. Like I was happy here, I was all settled in, I had my little drink or whatever, and they don't even realize that they're being prepared for something much better. So I think Spirit is saying, you know, lean into this change, because a lot of you guys already know what this is. This is something you have been feeling the need to change for a really long time, and you're going to really be it's going to happen. Oh, we got cornucopia. Wow. So that's a very positive card about abundance. Can be a lot of financial abundance. So some of you guys are going to be making a lot more money this next year, especially I feel like if you are in that process of making the change at your job, and this change has to do with your job. You might be getting more of a salary, or just working at a place where like it's less stressful. And even if you're making around the same, like you're so much less stressed out that, you know, you're just feeling really good. And like it's like you would have paid more to be able to have less stress, and you don't even have to pay anything. But I hope you guys get what I'm saying. It just feels like there's a major upgrade happening, and you need to trust this process. You need to like lean into this and be okay with this. You know, you also got the Divine Feminine cosmic womb, and the Divine Feminine energy is all about being receptive, receiving, being open, not being closed off. It's not about giving, it's about receiving and learning to receive. And I feel like sometimes some of you guys have been over givers in your relationships. You have been kind of having this attitude of like, well, I'm just going to try really hard. It doesn't even just have to be in relationships. It could also be at your job, but you have this thought that if you're not overgiving and if you're not bending over backwards, then you're not going to really get anything back, and you just have to like push yourself really hard, and that's just how it goes. And I feel like in the future, you're going to be really surprised by the fact that when you sit back and relax into receptive mode and allow the universe to surprise you with how good everything can be, with how beautiful and amazing everything can be, and you're not afraid of this Tower moment. You don't sit in Nine of Swords energy being anxious and ruminating about it and like freaking out about it. You just embrace it as like, perfect. So something's ending that needs to end. I can't wait for this new fresh start. Look at how the Fool came out right underneath the Tower. So like this new start is directly preceded by the Tower. So initially there's the Tower, then we have the Fool. So you're going to have to go through the Tower first, and then it's going to lead you to this fresh new beginning. But when you have an attitude of kind of gratitude of like, everything's working out for my greatest and highest good, I can think of the times that things really seemed like an ending and I would panic about it initially. Then of course I would remind myself my mantra, which is everything is happening for my greatest and highest good. Everything is working out for me. The universe is surprising and delighting me with all the good things. I can't wait to see what kind of beautiful surprise this is. And then that energy kind of changes up and becomes very magical. And then you're starting to anticipate like, what can it be? Oh, this is kind of fun. And then usually it's like an amazing surprise. It's something so good. It's a beautiful, delightful change in whatever area of life. And I feel like for you guys, that's what's going to be happening. At first, you're not thrilled about this ending, and you should just keep this in mind if something does come to an end at the beginning of the year, that it's preparing you and allowing you to have this new fresh start. Because I feel like some of you guys, this especially has to do with being tied up in old relationships, could be friends or family members as well that are holding you back, but it's almost like you don't realize what you deserve in things, and the universe is about to teach you. So maybe figure it out early and avoid any Tower moment. Blossoming abundance. Wow. So that is a really two beautiful financial cards in a row. So again, Spirit is saying, don't mistake this change for a bad thing. You guys might be coming into a windfall. I am hearing come out of nowhere. So it does feel like it might not be something that has to do with like your career or like earned income that you would expect, but maybe just a random, very Uranian gift from the universe that just seems to come totally out of the blue and you weren't seeing coming. So it might be a lucky year for you guys to like play the lotto or something like that. Obviously, you should always be very, cautious with your money or whatever, I guess. I'm not saying anyone should do anything crazy, but I feel like you might just have, I feel like the universe really wants to teach you guys how to trust this year and how to kind of sit back and not be stressing out so much and not be so anxious this year. So they are going to provide you with a lot of surprises that just seem like they totally came out of left field. Let me get some astro dice for pile 2 about the energies coming in for 2023. Okay, so we got the 9th house, Pisces, and that one kind of was in between signs, so let's spin that again, and the moon. Okay, so heavy water energy, and then we also have the 9th house, Sagittarius, and Jupiter energy, which is very spiritual. So there's a strong spiritual vibe of you guys learning some deep lessons this year, and I feel like your guides are going to be very strongly around you for the rest of 2023. I feel like they are definitely taking you through this process and this journey of release, and they're with you like 24/7 the whole time. I do feel like for a lot of you guys with that 9th house energy, there's also a broadening of your horizons happening. So you might be literally traveling, or this might be mentally reading up on spiritual doctrines or reading about like astrology, learning philosophy, because the 9th house is also studying. It's also education. And I feel like you guys are getting an education and really learning to kind of go with the flow. All these energies are very much flowing type energies because the 9th house is Sagittarius, the archer, and always kind of going on to the next. And then of course we have the two of the water signs, Pisces, which is the fish, the ultimate kind of going with the flow, and then also the crab. So water just flows, and that's why like Bruce Lee says, be like water, and he's of course the ultimate fighter. because when we try to fight against a certain situation, try to stay rooted, then it doesn't allow spirit to kind of come in and actively work in our life. When we flow and practice non-attachment and allow things to leave, allow things to come back in, just like the waves of the ocean, you don't panic when like the tide goes out, you know, and think like, oh my God, that wave was in, now it's gone and it's never coming back. And now this is this ugly looking beach and it's just, there's no coastline or there's no water here anymore. You trust that when the wave, just as the wave comes in, it's going to come, or comes out, I don't know what to say. It's going to come back in again and you're going to have water that flows back. So for a lot of you guys, this is about taking and understanding that what might initially feel to you like a bad thing or a loss or like you're not really sure is actually preparing you guys for a much better, greater destiny this year. And I feel like a lot of you guys might literally be getting a lot more into astrology, tarot, working on your studies when it comes to this. It's almost like you seek these things out a little bit more because of this change happening for you. And I feel like you guys are also learning much more to practice your intuition this year, because for the longest time, it feels like you guys were getting the messages that something needed to end, but you weren't quite listening. And I do feel like it's going to prepare you on this path to a lot more abundance that might happen for you, especially by the end of the year. So maybe, especially I'm hearing November, like this will have definitely come to pass. And again, I feel like with the divine feminine, a lot of this is about not feeling like you have to tolerate BS in order to make money. Of course, sometimes we all need to do things we don't really want to do in order to, you know, make money to a certain extent, but actually money and all good things can flow in when we're in that positive, high vibrational, happy state. When we're anticipating goodness and joy, that's when we can have the biggest blessings come to us. So I feel like that's a big thing that you guys are learning, is just to trust and not to hold on so much. So yeah, you're gonna have some endings this year, and you're gonna have to really learn to let go. But I feel like by this time in 2024, by like 2024, you guys are gonna be so glad that you went through 2023, that you learned these lessons, and that the things that were removed from your life are no longer around, because you're going to realize how much stress it was causing you. Let's get some of these cards as well. For pile 2 for 2023, choosing your path, all is possible. Yes, because this year is all about you guys realizing that you can choose. Like I was saying, you have more power than you realize. It feels like you're feeling kind of unempowered at this point. You might just be feeling like, well, I guess I'm kind of stuck in this. Like, this is just how it always goes for me, and everything's always okay. I just pulled like a bunch of cards, so I was gonna put them back, but I'm gonna put them down. But you might be feeling like, well, you know, everyone has a job they hate. Of course I have to work this job, and of course it stinks, but this is just how it is. Like, that's just what it takes. And I feel like by the end of this year, you've started expecting the wondrous to emerge. You're gonna allow this to kind of take time. And I love that we got first light and fogged in, beginning a new cycle, and go slow, take time, because I feel like this is a process. This is a process of you guys transmuting and learning this. That's going to happen over the next few months. But by the end of the year, I do feel like you're much more aligned with this new path. You have something brand new that's come into your life, a new relationship. If you're already in a happy relationship, it could be that new baby. But the struggle and the release and the loss is all worth it. And you're like, wow, this is what it's like. And I'm not going to ever put myself in a situation where someone's draining me, or where I'm feeling like I have to like work so hard and struggle and it's just so difficult all the time. That's a sign from spirit that it's not resonating with me. And in the future, I'm only going to take on the things that make me feel happiness. So by the end of 2023, I do feel like you guys have a lot more abundance. You're a lot happier, but you've learned to be a lot more decisive and to stand up for yourself. Again, keep in mind that the Knight of Swords was reversed. And I feel like one big theme for you guys this year is prioritizing yourself, your own interests, your own needs and desires, what you want in life, not prioritizing other people before you or trying to be a people pleaser. and really learning your own voice, really learning how to stand up for yourself and advocate for yourselves and to say what you want and to go after it. And then I feel like you guys are going to be having a lot more fun by the end of this year. So the kind of hard spiritual work that you're doing at the beginning gets replaced by the middle of the year with realizing that like, this is super easy and life doesn't have to be hard. And I'm so glad I went through that phase, but now it's time for the good times. So yeah, this is a very beautiful energy for the year of 2023. I think you guys are getting a lot of divine downloads, getting very in touch with your intuition. You might even be starting tarot or doing astrology readings or something like that. But you're going to come out of this year like a powerhouse, a spiritual powerhouse who knows exactly what they want in life and is going to get all of it. So yeah, that is what I have for you guys. Pile 2. I really hope it resonated. Let me know if it did in the comments. I'm really curious about this pile. You guys have piqued my interest, so I'm wanting to know what this ending has to do with or what you guys think it might have to do with. So let me know if you have any thoughts. I would love to hear from you. And also make sure to hit the thumbs up button, hit the like if it did resonate, and make sure to subscribe. I would absolutely love to have you here, and turn on notifications so you can find out as soon as I post. But I am sending you guys lots of love and light. Oh, and also make sure to check out my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. You'll get access to all of my readings when you do sign up. 35 additional readings about love, career, life, spirituality, relocation, all kinds of topics. So I would love to have you over there as well, joining our little Patreon party. And yeah, I think that's about it, guys. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'm sending you a big hug for the beginning of 2023. Take care, guys, and I will see you very soon. Bye. Hey Pile 3, welcome to your 2023 forecast. We're going to start off with a live oracle shuffle to get some guidance for what is happening for you in 2023. The first thing I can say is there's a lot of energy coming through. I can already feel it. I almost feel like I had some coffee or something. So I feel like you guys are going to have an exciting year. And as I'm saying that, we get skywriting, the fates, and then fortune's wheel, luck, and right timing. So honestly, I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be in the right place at the right time this year. Just, it feels like things are really aligning for you. And this is going to be, like I said, a really impactful year with the fates. A lot of fate. Some of you guys are going to have a much bigger platform. I just heard that in my head. Some of you guys are going to be noticed by a lot more people. And so you might be just looking physically really good. And like when you're walking outdoors, everyone is like heads turning, being like, oh my gosh, who is that person? They look fabulous. Or it might be if you have a public platform or would like a public platform, that everything is coming together with people noticing you and everyone kind of has you on their mind. I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be noticed possibly as well at work by like higher ups. People who are powerful are taking notice of you guys in 2023, and it feels like the right doors are opening to you now. So yeah, that's a divine message, and it definitely syncs up with these cards. Spirit, can we get some tarot for what's happening for pile 2020? Or excuse me, pile 3 in 2023. Let's get some tarot. Whenever it takes forever to get a card, I feel like it must be an extra special message. Oh my God. And you know what, guys? It was worth the wait, right? King of Pentacles. Wow. So like I was saying, that is the vibe I was getting. And it's funny because before this reading, before this pile, I was feeling kind of like tired because of course channeling can be pretty draining. But then I literally felt so much energy when I started to tune into your energy. When I was tuning into pile 3, I was like, wow, like I literally feel like I took a shot of espresso or something. And I feel like with King of Pentacles coming out, it makes so much sense. A lot of you guys are going to have things paying off for you this year. And financially, it feels like you're really hitting your stride. This might be a really good financial year for you, of abundance, of you achieving some financial dreams that I'm hearing you've had for a long time. For some of you guys, you're going to be purchasing a house or making a big long-term purchase, like a really nice car or something. It feels like something you have wanted for a really long time. And one thing I feel like is coming through is that a lot of you guys are also learning how to master finances. So even if you're not at the stage yet where you can fully purchase a house, you're going to be like really good at figuring out your taxes or something, or you're going to be figuring out how to like invest in the stock market, or figuring out how to budget really well, but I feel like you guys are becoming masters of money and masters of like the physical domain, where you just know exactly what to do, and you are learning how to like budget and spend your money in such a wise way, and learning how to make it come into you as well, learning how to manifest it really fast. So yeah, the King of Pentacles is someone that, you know, is very organized, responsible, disciplined. And a lot of you guys in 2023, you're going to be on your game when it comes to that. If you've been like messy and having a hard time keeping your place organized, you might suddenly find yourself like making a routine of just organizing everything, or writing a schedule for yourself, or buying a really nice leather-bound agenda. And just, it feels like you are at the top of your game with your career as well. And a lot of people are turning to you as an authority in 2023 and really like respecting you. I keep getting this, like people, it feels like for a long time, some of you guys were kind of working in silence or secret, and now it's like out there in the open and everyone can see. Somehow, I just heard that line from like Real Housewives where she goes, Kim Richards says to Lisa, and everyone will know. And she's saying it in a bad way, like a threat. If you guys know the dinner I'm talking about, then you know. But she's like, and everyone's gonna know, and everyone's gonna know. And that's what I'm hearing for you guys, but in a good way. Like everyone is gonna know about you guys making these moves. And I feel like people are gonna be in awe. Like everyone is kind of like shook by this, honestly. Everyone is like, wow, how did they do this? How are they making this happen? The light is coming in so weird on my hands. But anyway, okay, so we got the Eight of Cups as well. So the Eight of Cups is it's honestly one of my favorite tarot cards, just because it can, to me, it talks about kind of like, even when something is good or something is working out for you, like you just feel like there's more. You just feel called divinely to something more. You're just like, you know what? This is cool, but like I have something even better in store. And I feel like you guys in this pile, you're just kind of moving from strength to strength. Some of you guys are kind of going to be a little bit unpredictable for a lot of the year. I feel like you're going to be either, you might be traveling frequently, or like switching up friend groups, or there's changes happening within your job. But I feel like there's a big energy of travel for some of you guys, or moving houses or something like that. But it's almost like it takes you a minute to figure out where you want to move to, or it takes you a minute to find the right house, or when you're traveling, it's like an extended trip or something like that. Because I feel like there's a vibe of uncertainty, and there's a vibe of you not even wanting to settle down. Like, I feel like you're just in such a good place that you're like, I'm totally cool with like, right now we're going to rent because we haven't found the perfect house. So we're renting this place month to month and we love it, you know, and you're like happy with that. And you like that kind of uncertainty. Whereas maybe to someone else who's not in their King of Pentacles, it would drive them crazy, and they would be like, oh my God, I'm really anxious. But you're like, I know exactly how to manage this. I trust myself. I feel good. Something's happening in March. Oh my God. What did I say? Everyone is going to be noticing this, because, you know, the Six of Wands, this guy is running. He's not running, but he's riding through the town, and everyone is staring and cheering. And like, it's this hugely celebratory card. And that's what's going on for you guys, is like, everyone is seeing you succeed. And for some of you guys, this is you, like, again, people taking notice of you on social media or something, if that's something you're interested in, or if something you like to do, or there's definitely that vibe around you that like you have exactly what it takes to succeed in that arena, and that other people are taking notice. And if you're like, oh, I have no interest in social media, it could just be like your family and friends are like, wow, did you like change your diet, or did you get a new haircut, or like, you look so good, you're glowing, you know, like, have you been eating all your veggies lately or something? Because you just look like you have all these vitamins. You just look like your hair is healthy. Like, what's going on? Like, I feel like you guys just look good, and you're coming into a really beautiful energy. There might be Jupiter transiting strongly over your chart, like Jupiter in the first house, or it could be Jupiter over your sun, or aspecting your sun, trine your sun. So I know Jupiter is, well, it's ending in Pisces right now. So depending on kind of where your chart falls. It might still, you might still, if you're a Pisces, be kind of experiencing some of this as we go into 2023. But for a lot of you guys, you might be an Aries ascendant, and so it might be transiting, or an Aries sun, Aries moon. It might be transiting over that, or it could also be in one of the other fire signs. So Leo or Sagittarius are also going to benefit from that. I just feel like you guys are going to really be like glowed up and doing great this year. And people, like, there's a focus on you. It's almost like the Midas touch. And I didn't even notice as I was saying that we have Fortune's wheel, but that has to do with Jupiter. So yeah, heavy Jupiter around you guys, expansion energy, and also could be Jupiter in the second house. So that could apply to Pisces ascendants, or yeah, Jupiter. It feels like Jupiter is just really positively aspecting you in this time. So we just got the Tower card reversed. Okay. So can you clarify the Tower card reversed? We just got Queen of Wands reversed. Okay. Clarify the Tower card reversed, Spirit. King of, oh, that's interesting. So we got the King of Wands, Queen of Wands reversed, King of Wands upright, and then the Magician. Okay, so the Tower card being reversed, then it was the Queen of Wands coming out next, and then the King of Wands upright. So it could be that you guys have had to feel for a long time like you kind of had to fight with certain things, or you've had to fight for certain things. And with the Tower card coming out reversed, followed by the Queen of Wands, it's almost like it could be that you're learning to kind of stand up for yourself a little bit, and learning to come into your power of speaking up and, you know, being that Queen of Wands upright energy, or the King of Wands upright, where like you're gonna stand up and have this fire and have this spark to your life, and really like lean into knowing exactly what you deserve. So there might be something, some kind of event that precedes it. With the Tower card being reversed, it's not going to be as impactful or as horrible as the Tower card can sometimes be. Of course, we love the transformation, but you know, with the Tower, sometimes it can be like intense. But with it coming out reversed, you're going to have the power to withstand whatever this is and come out stronger. And with the Queen of Wands reversed following it, I almost feel like a part of this might be, it might be you learning to stand up for yourself. And for others of you, it might also be learning that you don't have to take on every battle, like learning that, you know, maybe if someone cuts you off in traffic or someone is rude to you, it's like, who cares? Because I think, you know, there's something to be said for like really choosing your manifestation and setting your mood for the day, and not really letting anyone else, you know, you mess with that. Like, it used to really bother me if someone was rude to me randomly in public, or there was a rude shopkeeper or a rude person I had to interact with. And now I realized it's not my problem, not my circus, not my monkeys, you know, as the saying goes. And it's like, I'll just let God handle that. But I am going to choose to be in a good mood. And so I'm going to choose to like just not even let it bother me, just gonna let it roll off my back. So I feel like there's an energy of something that might happen where you also might kind of not be feeling sexy, and there might be a male who comes in that really makes you feel sexy, or makes you step into that energy, or a female. It could be flipped if you're like a man watching. It could be a romantic figure that comes in who makes you kind of see yourself in that way. But I think it's really interesting. We're transitioning from the Queen of Wands reverse, and then we're getting the King of Wands. So it might be that, you know, I feel like with the Queen, you know, she is a feminine card, and of course the King is masculine. And I feel like a difference, you know, between femininity, I guess, and masculinity, as far as the, you know, metaphysical concepts. Please don't get mad at me because I'm just saying this for metaphysical concepts. But, you know, femininity is the emotions. It's more emotionally based, and it can be more, so it can be more reactive as well. And it's almost like you're learning to step into your own energy and realizing your own power here, and realizing that you're not going to give your energy to anyone else. Because with this ascension you're going through, there might be people kind of trying to tug on your attention. And sometimes when someone can't get that in like a constructive, healthy way, they might do it in an unhealthy way. Like, well, this person's never going to notice me anyway, so I'm just going to be really rude to them and be really nasty, and maybe I'll get their attention for 5 seconds because I know they're not going to pay attention to me if I'm nice, so I'm just going to be dysfunctional about it. And I feel like you guys are going to learn to put up a little bit more of boundaries, or learn like, I don't need to give this attention away to anyone. I don't need to like make this person happy. I don't need to make this person feel good, because I feel like guys are much better about that than girls. Like as a girl, I love being a girl, but you know, I will notice like guys will just tell someone like, no, I'm not doing it. You know, they have no problem saying no or turning someone down or being like, yeah, no, that doesn't work for me. But a lot of times, you know, and there's like cultural pressure with this, but a lot of times as girls, we always want to like make everyone happy and we don't want to be mean and we want to be really nice. So it's almost like as you step into this ascended role of the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands, you're learning to put up a little bit more of boundaries and learning not even to get embroiled in it. Like, I'm not even going to give this attention or energy. I'm just going to say no. And if this person gets mad at me, I don't care. I'm not even going to focus on it. But I do want to talk about the Magician because I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be really manifesting amazing stuff this year. Also with that King of Wands, let me clarify King of Wands, Spirit. Clarify King of Wands. Ten of Swords. Clarify King of Wands. Because I'm feeling like for some of you guys, this might be a romance. So we just got the Ten of Swords, Five of Cups, and the Devil card reversed. So with the Ten of Swords and Five of Cups, it could be an ending that you're mourning. It could be an old relationship or something that you're finally ready to get rid of. And it could almost even be like a short-term fling. Like you guys might be like going around and dating and like having fun and enjoying with that King of Wands energy and not just feeling like everyone needs to be your soulmate, but kind of being like, well, I'm just going to go on a couple dates and I'm going to enjoy myself and I'm not going to I'm going to practice a little bit of non-attachment right now. But I almost feel like you're becoming very stoic this year. If you have been in an energy of the Ten of Swords, Five of Cups, maybe mourning an ex, maybe feeling very soul tied to like a old soulmate, it's like suddenly you're in this King of Wands energy and you're like, I realize I have the power here. And you know what? I want to have fun. I want to date. I want to enjoy myself. I want to be in a relationship that serves me. And I'm going to be a little bit selfish. So I'm not going to be focused on an ex, a twin flame, a soulmate that's not with me now. I'm going to focus on me. Yeah, so this might be you guys dating and enjoying yourself. First of all, a lot of people are going to be noticing you. You guys just look really amazing this year. Let me just say it again. And I do feel like you're going to have a masculine who, especially if you're a feminine or you're into masculines, if you're not, or if you're into feminines, you can totally, of course, you know, date that. But I feel like you're going to have someone who wants to step in romantically for you and who really wants to date you and almost like sweeping you off your feet type energy, like really showing out, really like putting on the Ritz kind of, you know, like flowers and like taking you out to a nice restaurant, that kind of a thing. Let me get some of these cards for pile. I just knew it. Cornucopia. I knew that was going to come out for you guys. Yeah, finances, I feel like are really on point. And it's funny because I just keep seeing like Rumpelstiltskin or Midas, King Midas, I guess, like where everything you touch turns to gold, or how Rumpelstiltskin weaved gold out of hay. I feel like people are just in awe of you this year because they're like, how is this person doing this? Like, how are they making this much money? Or how are they? Because one thing that's really coming through is everyone is noticing this. Everyone is paying attention to what you guys have going on. No one is sleeping on you and just kind of ignoring you. Like for some reason, it feels like all eyes are on you. And I feel like you guys should really use this year. If you were thinking of like starting a social media account or something, I feel like this would be a great year for that. You also could have like Jupiter in the 3rd house or Jupiter over the 10th house because it feels like you're getting a lot of attention. Communication is working for you this time. And also I feel like you guys are just getting a lot of honors and attention and focus. People are coming out of the woodwork. That might also be the King of Wands. You might be having people who are like crushing on you through your social media. What does this say? Happy family. Man holding a heart. See, I'm telling you, you guys have a lot, and man holding a coin. As I was going to say, you guys have a lot of admirers because it's like multiple. I feel like you have so many options, and that's kind of what's coming through as well with that King of Wands is like the King of Wands is a little bit of a selfish card. I'm not going to lie. And I feel like in a way, you know, we're moving out of, because like I said, feminine is more kind of concerned with the collective and others and how this person feels, and I don't want to step on toes. Of course, usually a queen is not in that super nervous energy. But, you know, as I think a lot of women fall into that, like worrying, and of course some men do as well, worrying about what everyone else is going to think, say, and not wanting to upset anyone. And I feel like that's a much more masculine thing to just be like, I want this. That's it. I don't care. And I feel like you guys are learning to step into that. Like you're learning to be like, this is what I want. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. I don't care if it upsets you. And talk about wand energy is all about that. Wand and fire energy is all about me and I want this. And that's what I love about wand energy or fire energy is like when a fire sign or someone with fire placements, like a fire Mars or Venus, when you're interacting with them, you don't have to worry that they're just trying to be nice to you, that they're trying to go with the flow, they're trying to be sweet. You know that they're going to call you out if they don't like it. If they're hanging out with you, they do like you. Like with a Pisces or a Libra, you kind of have to worry about that, especially Libras, like they will never rock the boat. So like you're like, I hope they like me, but I'm not really sure because like they're super polite. They're not going to say anything. And fire energy is like, I want this and I don't care what anyone has to say. And I feel like you're really stepping into that. You're stepping into your own power and learning not to like feel like you have to make anyone else happy. So I do feel like this almost attracts more. You are going to have a lot of opportunities to date in this new year. Pile 3, you are going to have so much attention on you, so many eyes on you, and a lot of romantic partners that I feel like you're just going to have your pick of it. Like if you're online dating, it's like you match with like every profile. Or if you're out in like a bar or a restaurant, like you have multiple guys coming up to you trying to talk to you or multiple girls. But like you have so much opportunity, I feel like this year. Let's get some astro dice for pile 3 for 2023. So we just got Pluto, then we got Gemini in the 11th house. So we have Aquarius, Gemini, and Scorpio. So you might have you guys might have some of those placements in your chart. But I do feel like 11th house is house of other people. Gemini is communication, one of the things. And so again, and Pluto is transformational change. So again, your words are really going to have impact this year, as I've been talking about. If you were thinking of like putting yourself out there in some way, I just feel like you have all the ingredients required in this year. You are looking good, you're feeling good. And one thing I love is the boundaries. It feels like in the past, this might not have been the best time for you, where maybe you wanted to post something online, but you'd worry too much about others. You'd worry about what other people would think, or you would, maybe you weren't ready for that success because you were a people pleaser. And if someone messaged you and said like, I don't like this thing you said, you would like be super upset about it and it would bother you. And you would, you just didn't have the right boundaries of like, this is my energy. This is what I want. This is how I feel. And I feel like now you're just fully ready to step into that. But everyone is noticing you. There's also a potential for new friends. I do feel like for some of you guys with a move you're going through, that's going to be one that really allows you to meet the right kind of people. If you are like making a big move to a new location, it feels like in this new location, there's people who are more aligned with you. And this new friend group, I feel like that wants to come in and just people who will like I said, get you, understand you, that you really vibe with, that you just feel a lot more understood with and you can have great conversations with. But what is happening with your communication? I don't know if you do have Jupiter transiting through the 3rd house or something, but it just feels like your communication is seriously on point. That Jupiter, I believe, is transiting through the 3rd house for Aquarius ascendants, and also it could be, it could be transiting over your Mercury as well in the rest of your chart. But it just feels, so you might have like a Aries Mercury or something like that. But I just feel like you guys are really on point with how you're going to be speaking, with how you guys are going to be communicating. Like everything just feels like it's just people are noticing you. However you're presenting in the world, this would also probably be a great time for you guys to write a book or something like that. But I feel like you guys are stepping into your power so strong. I just saw the image of someone being like knighted in like a royal ceremony and someone putting like a golden scepter up on top of their head and like knighting them. I feel like you guys are going to leave this year, like this, first of all, enjoy this year because it's going to be a lot of fun for you and you're going to have the time of your life. But also as you leave into next year, you're going to be way more empowered. But socializing, enjoyment is going to be a major theme for you as well. Can we get some guidance, final cards for pile 3? Spirit, can you please give me some guidance for pile 3 for 2023? What's happening for them? So we just got staying focused, hold the course. Wise leader, you are a beacon for others. I love that for you guys. That is exactly what you are this year. Like everyone, like I said, everyone is noticing. And I keep hearing that line from Real Housewives, everyone will know. Everyone will know, but it's like in a good way. Everyone's going to see how you glowed up. Everyone's going to see how good you look. Everyone's going to see, and they're going to, even if you're trying to keep it on the DL, I feel like people are going to be like whispering, like, oh my God, did you hear that she got this promotion? Or like, did you hear she's dating this really cute guy? Or did you hear blah, blah, blah? It feels like even if you don't want the attention, even if you're trying to be kind of secretive, like something about this, you're shining your light this year and you're not holding it back anymore. And I don't feel like you're afraid of the judgments of others like you were in the past. Navigating by the stars, follow your bliss. And finally, unknown territory, you are exactly where you need to be. So, and also I want to talk about the fact that the 11th house Aquarius energy is also about the collective. It's also a house of hopes and dreams. So again, for some of you guys, your hopes and dreams are going to come true this year. You guys have the Wheel of Fortune on your side. You have luck, Jupiter energy on your side this year. And truly, I feel like you're also doing work that like helps transform people, helps people understand. So whatever you guys are doing, even if you're just being yourself or putting out like cooking videos or something like that, there's something about you that like people are really going to remember this year. Even if you're not putting anything out there and you're just interacting with people, it might be like you have short interactions with people, but they always remember you. And like you could run into them a year later and they're like, oh my God, by the way, I ran into you randomly at an open house for real estate. You told me that, you know, you thought I had beautiful eyes and I started posting photos of my eyes online and they went viral. I know that's a really weird thing, but like you told me I smelled so good. So I opened a perfume line and it's really successful. And I feel like there's something about you guys that everyone is looking to you as a position of authority this year, and it just is growing and growing and growing. And you're learning to step into that royal energy of like Leo energy, knowing that you deserve this, knowing that you are okay being a leader. Whereas at first, or even a couple of years ago, I feel like it really might have thrown you for a loop. 2023, it feels like you're okay with taking on this mantle. And I do feel like, you know, the other piles got some specific months and developments that were happening. But I feel like, honestly, for you guys, it's kind of moving from strength to strength. I am hearing about something happening in June specifically and April and August. But I do feel like for the most part, these are all positive. Like it doesn't feel like you're having to go through a whole lot. I do feel like you might have certain relationships that might fall out, especially as you come into the success and abundance. You're going to have to get rid of certain friendships that I almost feel like you guys have wanted to get rid of for a really long time, or certain family relationships. You're kind of closing the door on them, but I feel like it's so replaced by all the goodness and all the happiness that you're coming into that I don't even want to like focus too much on that. Because I feel like it's almost like you don't have as much time to even care. Like you're so focused on your new life. You're so being very selective with your attention and directing it exactly where you need to put it and not worrying so much about others. That's what this little sequence we have, the Queen of Wands reverse going into the King of Wands, I think is talking about. So like you're really taking the reins of this and you're not worrying so much about others. But there is a really strong opportunity for romance and also for finding your divine counterpart this year as well. But I think you're going to be socializing and enjoying yourself. And yeah, like you're just going to be having so much fun this year. Pile 3, what a beautiful energy for 2023. Oh my gosh. And again, like I said, I was so tired and now I feel like I just could dance a little jig or something. I just feel so energized. So thank you for letting me tune into this beautiful, expansive energy for this new year. How exciting. So anyways, guys, let me know how it resonated in the comments. I really love hearing from you guys, and I would love to hear your thoughts or what you think this has to do with, or if you've already been feeling called towards like putting yourself more out there or feeling this energetic shift of more people paying attention to you lately. Let me know. I would love to know. I'm very curious. And also make sure to hit the thumbs up button, hit the like if it did resonate, and make sure to subscribe. I would absolutely love to have you here over at our little Briar Rose Tarot community, and also make sure to turn on notifications so you can find out as soon as I post and be the first to know. And if you guys would like to see more of my readings, then you can head on over to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings, and when you sign up you'll get access to all of them. 35 existing readings and new ones go up all the time about love, career, spirituality, relocation, so many different subjects. Lots to choose from and look through. So definitely head over there if you would like to see more of my content, and I would love to have you there. Anyway, with all of that being said, guys, have an amazing day and rest of the year. I'm so excited for you for 2023. You might have to rest up and gear up because it's going to be a busy one for you guys, but I can't wait. I'm excited for you, and I will see you guys very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey Pile 4, welcome to your reading. We're going to start off with a live shuffle of some oracle cards to get the vibe for you for Pile 4 for 2023. So we just got Sky Dancer's Surrender and Dust Devil, Moving Out of Stagnation. So I do feel like some of you guys are going to be meeting a lot of new people, and also possibly finding new interests in 2023 might be a really big theme for you. Like suddenly figuring out that you're really into like medieval history of a certain country, or really realizing that you really want to try knitting and getting into that, and like getting into a knitting group or something. But I do feel like there's something about you guys joining up with others, meeting up with others, and other people coming into your life, and you kind of becoming aware of the things that really interest you and starting to give that a lot more energy. But it does feel like if things have been kind of stagnant and quiet for your life, that is going to be changing in 2023, and there's going to be a lot more activity. Let's get some tarot to clarify some of these energies. Spirit, can you please tell us what's happening for Pile 4 in 2023. So we just got the 7 of Cups. So that kind of is like what I was talking about with you really realizing your interest, because for me with the 7 of Cups, it's a very kind of complex card that can have a lot of different meanings. But I do think one of the things it can talk about is manifestation, and also kind of figuring out what you want, like becoming aware of, because that's the first step to manifestation, is I like this, I like that, I'm into this. And I feel like for you guys, there's something that's going to come into your life that's going to be a new interest, a new field that might be very lucrative down the line. It might even be something that you're just studying for fun, but then later on you might be able to monetize it somehow, or run a business about it or something. Or you might even do it professionally. You know, sometimes it starts off as a hobby. Like I know for me, you know, I was really into astrology first and just reading that for fun. I just really like enjoyed learning about it, and that was kind of the first step that, you know, now obviously today I, you know, pull tarot and stuff, but it starts with like the little first seed that like I was always into really 8th house issues, all 8th house issues. So sometimes like that can be the first step on a journey, is you suddenly just become really interested in one field in particular. And I feel like that's going to be happening for you guys. I just saw gardening for some of you. Maybe some of you guys will have a really amazing garden, or you're going to get some plants to decorate your apartment, or you're going to get into gardening in some way. But I do feel like there's definite hobbies that want to come through for you, and new interests that are going to be coming into your life in 2023 that I feel like is going to take up a lot of your attention. And also you might be able to monetize it. You might be able to make some really good money from that, with the Knight of Pentacles coming out and the Wheel of Fortune. So it feels like this is a very like favorable and lucky kind of development for you. whatever you're going to be into, it feels like this is something that really has a lot of long-term potential. Spirit, can you give me more clarity about what's happening for pile 3 in 2023? So we just got the 9 of Wands coming out reversed, as well as the 8 of Swords. And I do feel like that might be the energy that I'm picking up on, where some of you guys are kind of unsure of what to do right now, or kind of unsure of the path you're supposed to be taking. And it feels like that energy kind of persists into the beginning of 2023. Like, I feel like it's your current energy, and then that might exist through the beginning of the year, like through, I want to say March, April, especially, even later, maybe even into May or June. It's going to be different for some of you guys, but I do feel like Spirit is letting you know that this energy of stagnation is there for a reason. It's almost like you're being put on pause so that you can figure things out. Like, you're supposed to take a little bit of a period of reflection. You're supposed to be a little bit unsure. You're supposed to have a moment of kind of getting, because I feel like sometimes when we're put in hermit mode, we want to rush to get out of it, right? We're like, oh, this is so boring and I want something exciting to happen to my life, not realizing that whatever we're in hermit mode about is the key that we're being put to that new journey, to that new destination. And I feel like it's through this interest that you take on that there is a huge payoff that's going to happen in the end. So it might not be apparent right away. It might be kind of hidden initially, and you might be in an energy of like, oh my gosh, why do I have to do this? Or why am I suddenly so interested in this and I'm neglecting like my work because I keep staying up late to read about this history of this country, or to read about how to make music, and I'm like making music on my laptop and like there's probably nothing going to come of this, and what am I doing? But I feel like there's something really cool about this new hobby you guys are taking on that you might be able to have a lot of success with later on. So pay attention to it. Don't let it just slip by. Don't ignore it. Like, treat it seriously, you know? I mean, it's really funny to think for me about when I was younger and I would like always watch any show that had to do with ghosts or hauntings or demons or angels or anything like that. I would stay up late to listen to like that radio show, Coast to Coast AM if you're in America. And so like I didn't sleep with mirrors around my bed even when I was like young, and my mom would be like, oh my God, did you get it from this? But I was always into 8th house stuff. And I do have an 8th house south node, so it makes a lot of sense that I gravitated towards it. But again, I just thought it was like an interest of mine. And then it's funny because that led to the path of astrology, and then that leads to tarot, and then like all those things in retrospect make so much sense as stepping stones that form a path. But when you're on them one by one individually, especially if you only have one stepping stone to look at, it doesn't really feel like you're doing much. And I feel like Spirit is sending you a message to be patient with yourself throughout the beginning of the year, because if Spirit is putting something in your heart, like a special interest, like a little desire that seems to come out of nowhere, then that's being put in your heart for a reason. And I feel like you're going to see some traction with that, especially later on in the year. You're going to see some activities come through and some kind of a breakthrough, some way that you'll be able to use that or join up with community. And I feel like some of you guys are going to become like experts in this field, whatever it is. Like, and I think that's the best way to become an expert. Whenever you're just genuinely interested in something, you do it as like a hobby. Like, even for me now, I still spend like my nights, I'll just be looking up random extra like astrology. I just read for fun, like astrology books, tarot books, like just for fun, because it's an interest for me. Even though, you know, at this point, like I know a lot about it, I know most of the things, it's still interesting to me to like go even deeper or listen to what this expert says or read up about it. And I think that's the case for most people, like that really like what they're doing, is like it's fun for like a master doctor to go to like a conference and read about the new surgical procedure or whatever. You know what I mean? So whenever you're really, really into something and it's fun for you and you like it, that's such a like neon red sign pointing to your destiny. And I feel like you guys are going to come into that this year and really get the clarity of where you're supposed to head in your life. But Spirit is saying to just be patient and trust this process. Because with the 8 of Swords, you can see she has the blindfold on right now. And that's how it's supposed to be in this moment. Like, I feel like for you, if you're not quite sure what destiny or route you're supposed to take in your life, it's okay to take your time. And I think the best thing you can do is to follow your bliss. So enjoy your life. Spend time doing things you enjoy. I do have Saturn over my Mercury, so it's like I'm just having trouble with my words lately, so excuse me for that. But I do feel like a lot of you guys are going to be spending a lot of time thinking about what you love and just like the things that are happy, fun, lighthearted. That's a really good energy to follow whenever you're manifesting in life. It's just following what's lighthearted, what's easy, what feels good, what flows. And then I feel like you're going to see forward momentum and traction as you kind of become known within this community, or people are like, oh, wait, you want to know about gardening? Oh, well, pile 4 knows a lot about gardening. I don't know why gardening keeps coming up for you guys, and you should go talk to them about it. And like next thing you know, people are turning to you for that, and you have this kind of reputation a little bit. I feel like, yeah, it's kind of like it's okay to slowly progress on this. And if spirit keeps putting something in your heart, I just got the strongest message that is for a reason. And I just got the strongest message for you guys that some of you guys are feeling very torn about this, or you're going to feel torn in 2023 and be like, oh my God, I don't have time for this. Like I need to be studying, or I need to be at work and I can't stay up late, like doing this hobby. And it's like, no, it's okay, because like that's kind of your real thing to be focused on anyway. And I feel like it's going to unfurl at exactly the right time in exactly the right way. So at the beginning of the year, there might even be that push-pull with like your career where you're working on whatever this is as like a hobby. It's fun for you, and maybe, there might be like a boss or coworkers or someone who is not so much a fan of this, and there might be some tension with that. But I feel like you're going to have a lot of luck with this, and you're going to be able to have the time to like focus on it. So if you're at a job and your boss is like breathing down your neck, don't worry, because I feel like it's going to turn out okay. You're going to be protected with this, and like you're going to have the time and wherewithal to focus on the things you really love. Something is happening with some of your guys' family. It feels like maybe someone in the family has been going through a lot, like stress or something, or someone just had a baby, but they're very like drained from that experience, which makes sense because I know it's a lot to give birth. But I feel like it's almost like they're going to require a lot of like you gathering around them and helping them and stuff like that. And spirit is letting you know, just a reminder. And it's funny, I got this download, and a lot of times when I start channeling, I am shuffling, and then I'll pull the card and I won't even look at it because I'm like trying not to forget what I got. And then I look at the card and I'm like, oh, it's saying the exact same thing, which the 10 of Wands is, which is to not allow yourself to be super pulled away and invested into other people's energy. Because the thing is, you guys in pile 4 have this beautiful, gentle energy. And I feel like you spend quite a lot of time worrying about others, being concerned with others, and looking out for others, and not so much time being selfish about your time and thinking about what you really love. And I feel like this is why spirit is really bringing this into your life, is because for the longest time, it feels like you kind of prioritize everyone else, and people in your life have gotten used to that. So obviously, I totally understand, especially if someone gives birth, that like they kind of need a little help and stuff. But I also feel like sometimes people can just fall into these patterns of like expecting like, oh, well, Brian will always help me. He's super nice, and he'll just be, yeah, like whatever, he'll just come over, we'll ask him. And like they don't even really appreciate it. And like maybe Brian has other things to do, but Brian ends up doing it. And especially it often falls on women because like we're, I don't know, just culturally expected to do this kind of a thing. But it can definitely fall on men too. And I feel like for you guys, this is about kind of taking your power back and being like, you know what? I don't want to come over and like help you cook dinner. I'm so sorry, but I really have this idea for a story that I want to write tonight. So I'm just going to stay in and do that. I hope that's okay. And you don't even have to tell them that, you can just be like, yeah, I can't go. Sorry. super busy with work, you know, but I feel like for some of you guys, this is about putting up some boundaries in this 2023 year. And whatever this is that you're working on, I think you need to hear that there is a lot of potential in it. And by the end of 2023, you guys might have like a finished product that you can show the world. Like maybe right now it just feels like you have this random idea for a story and you feel inspired to write a couple pages. And then the next night you're like, I feel inspired to write again, but I don't have time for this. And the next thing you know, by the end of the year, you have a full book written, you know, even though you thought you were just doing it for fun. And maybe you're able to publish it on Amazon or like self-publish it or send it out to a publisher. But I feel like there's a lot of potential in whatever this project is. Or maybe it's not writing, maybe it's like you know, start growing some string beans in your backyard and then you notice you're really good at it, and by then I don't know why this gardening keeps happening, maybe because it's that perfect example of something that starts as a seed and then grows slowly. But it's like you're growing string beans, and by the end of the year you have like you enter it into, or by midsummer you enter it into your state fair and you win the competition for like the best string beans, or because I think they have those at state fairs, right? Something like that, like the biggest pumpkin or whatever. I don't know. I never really had one growing up around me, so I don't know. But you know, something that you could show, like something that could come of it. And I feel like you're like better at this than you realize. You're really good at it, and it's kind of like you need to like give yourself the respect and stop overburdening yourself with others. Because I do see at the beginning of the year, some of you guys are being very overburdened, and there's like this push-pull. So early months of the year, it feels like you have a lot of responsibilities on your plate. For some of you guys, you might have kids that are requiring a lot of your energy. Of course, that's what kids do, so nothing wrong with that. But I feel like you need to like kind of learn a better balance with this, or maybe learn how to adjust your own responses to it. Like maybe you're finding yourself getting really frustrated, and there's a different emotional reaction you could have where you won't be so upset, where you can like remind yourself like it's gonna be fine and I'm gonna have a glass of wine after bed. Or maybe you were drinking wine and you realize it's kind of bringing down your mood with the way it affects dopamine, and so you're like, I'm not gonna have any more drinks anymore after they go to sleep. But there's something that I feel like needs to be shifted, switched up, just a little bit tweaked and adjusted in the way you respond to like this pressure and stress. Because I feel like a lot of you guys tend to overtake on more. And also I feel like sometimes it might just be changing your attitude towards it, not being such a perfectionist, not stressing out on like level 10 of like, oh my God, everything has to be perfect, but just being like, yeah, I think that didn't turn out super perfect, but it's okay. We got it done and that's fine. And I think giving yourself that space to not worry so much and to find the joy, like I feel like you guys are being taught this lesson. So your year could look different depending on how early you're willing to learn this lesson and lean into it. But for a lot of you guys, I feel like this energy persists at least through March. And then I feel like you're starting to realize like something's got to give. I can't keep up with this. And then as we come into spring, you're starting to be like, I need to look after my emotions a little bit more. Let's get some more cards for pile 4. We got the King of Swords and the 5 of Cups. If I can get this underneath the rose. Okay, so, and you know, the King of Swords is a great example of that, because the King of Swords is very much, well, yeah, the King of Swords is going to be direct. The King of Swords is going to like stand up for himself verbally and say how he's feeling. He's not going to be super worried about like appeasing everyone and making everyone feel happy. The King of Swords is like, this is what I need. That's what I want. And that's it. And going to not be super overly emotional. So I feel like in a way, there's also this thing of you guys getting really emotional that has, especially happening around like your family and stuff, that sometimes you can get triggered or feel like you have to give too much. And I feel like a big pattern learn for you this year is kind of taking back the power and control of your emotions so that you're not thrown off as emotionally. Like if someone is mad at you or if someone is upset with you, and it could have to do with friends as well or coworkers or something, but I feel like you really need to learn to be like rooted in your own power and not so much affected by someone else's emotional storms, but more like I'm going to set my intention for the day of I'm going to be in a happy mood, or I'm going to set my intention for the day of like, I'm gonna get this done, and I'm not gonna allow, even if my neighbor comes in a panic and they're like, oh my God, this happened and blah, blah, blah. And of course you wanna be helpful, and sometimes emergencies that are unavoidable happen, but maybe sometimes there are people that rush in and demand a lot of your attention. And this is about you putting up a little bit of a wall and being like, nope, can't do it, sorry, and not feeling bad and not feeling guilty and just like writing it off quick. And I feel like a big part of manifestation is learning to do that, like learning that the only one who controls your emotions is you. Mercury, Saturn transiting over Mercury, so I keep messing up basic stuff, but it's almost like with this Five of Cups, you know, he's so sad about, you know, these cups, not even realizing that there's two in the background. And there's that so much of the time we end up doing that. Like we end up being upset about something, not even realizing that like, this is amazing. Like, look at where I am in life. Look at where I've come from. Look at all the good things happening for me. Look at this, look at that. Like think of so many times when we see a celebrity and they're like really upset about something and they're crying about something and it's like the end of the world for them. And everyone else is thinking, oh my God, if I had that life, it would be like, I would only ever be happy. And so much of the time, we all can fall into that same thing. Even if we're not a celebrity with like millions of dollars at our disposal, we can still be ungrateful for things that everyone else throughout history or throughout the world would see as like a miracle. Like even having running water, think about how many people throughout society, that would be like a witchcraft type dream for them. You know, they'd be like, running hot water at the drop of at the twist of your fingers. You can get like gallons and gallons of hot water, because if you ever had to lug water, like a big water bottle or something, it is heavy as F. And so for so many people, like I'm sure they could only dream of that, and we have it around us all the time and we barely care, barely notice, you know what I mean? So I just feel like there's a message for you guys to constantly be like reminding yourself that one, like you're not going to be so disrupted by someone else being upset or mad or in a bad mood. And this energy, I feel like, is happening especially at the beginning of the year. And then I feel like by the middle of the year, you're able to master it a little bit more, able to get your bearings with this. And then I feel like you're able to kind of work with it. Like, okay, so if I'm not allowing this person to upset me and make me sad and make me feel bad about XYZ, then I'm going to have more emotional space in my tank to focus on my hobbies, interests, and the things that bring me joy. And I feel like this hobby thing that you're growing is going to be, like I said, really powerful by the end of 2024. But a lot of this is about you guys putting up boundaries with people in your life during 2023. Spirit, can you give me guidance for pile 4 for 2023? Rest and rejuvenation. Yep. And this is like what I'm saying is I feel like sometimes you guys give so much of your energy to others that you're just very, very, very depleted. And I feel like this is an energy that like you guys, your guides are helping you to unlearn during this upcoming year. They're teaching you to put up those walls and boundaries. They're teaching you that you deserve to be happy, because some of you guys are people pleasers and empaths, and you're always giving to others, but you don't really reciprocate that same energy for yourself. And it's funny because you would like never want anyone else to be upset, but you're totally cool with making yourself upset or overextending yourself or making yourself exhausted. And this is all about, I think, taking your power back and realizing your worth. For some of you guys, this might even be something like raising prices in your career or in your field, like asking for a raise in your salary, or if you like run a small business or something, raising your prices up. Or putting up some kind of boundaries with your work-life balance. Because I do see that, like, of course we have free will. And if you don't really do anything about this, there is the possibility that it can continue like this and it could continue just being draining on you. But I feel like your guides are really going to usher you into this energy of like, I got to change it. Something has got to shift and switch with this. And I feel like you'll be surprised that actually some people are going to be upset with this and they're not going to be super happy about the change, but a lot of people are going to really respect it. And it's funny because I think, like, again, not to go on and on about it, but for me personally, doing tarot and stuff, it's been really gratifying to have people be super supportive towards me doing tarot. Whereas I feel like in other fields or career paths, I didn't really feel a lot of support from like my coworkers or my bosses. And I feel like for you guys, it's funny that when you sometimes align yourself with something that is really for you and something that really serves you really well, that things just flow and it's just easy, and it's not something where you have to like explain. Like, the right people will find you and the right people will see you and recognize you for who you are. So I think the best thing you can do is to step into that authentic energy as early as possible, and then the right people are going to come in because they'll recognize that energy and that's what they want. Let me get some astro dice for pile. Oh, that one fell. Okay, so for pile 4, okay, so we have the first house. Then we have Cancer, and then, hey guys, sorry about that. We ended up getting cut off because my battery died, but Pluto was the final astrological dice we got. So Pluto is about big transformational change, and I do feel like this is a year that's really going to alter your perspective on things. There is this energy of you coming out the other side a totally different person, and I feel like a lot stronger with setting and enforcing boundaries for yourself, and with just honoring also your health. You might be also making steps to transform your health, or you might find that as you put up these boundaries that your health naturally gets better. So if you've been like worried about a certain health outcome or trying to make a certain health outcome happen, like maybe you wanted to lose weight or gain weight or put on muscle or whatever, but I feel like you guys are going to be able to do that. And you might have been like, why am I having such trouble with this? Like, why is my health stuck in this situation? And I feel like maybe some of it has to do with those boundaries. But by the end of the year, it feels like you've really learned to transform things. And I am hearing by the next holiday season, especially like November, it's a lot more enjoyable to you because you've learned to like put your foot down. Some of you guys are also going to be traveling to really beautiful, like tropical destinations this year. And with Cancer, again, that might have to do with your family, with like family members you have that you love, but maybe they just ask a lot from you. And I feel like your guides are really pushing you into this. And also being aware of what a gift your Cancer energy that you have, where you're so kind and you look after others and you kind of have this big open heart, that's a beautiful thing, but also that it's important for you to step into that first house energy of thinking about yourself and not overgiving, because I do think it can affect your health and it can affect your overall well-being and your potential for success when you're giving so much to others. I think you will be surprised once you start putting these boundaries up over this upcoming year, how much more energy you have for yourself. And I am hearing a message that some of this might come to a head next summer specifically. Like, you might have yourself inundated with like things to do this next summer, or like you have to go here for this person, you have to help this person with that. And I feel like you're just kind of at your wit's end. So a great way to avoid that happening, I feel like, is going to be anticipating that and taking those steps earlier, because this summer does feel like you have a lot of social obligations. You're quite busy. It could be in a good way. It could be that you're really busy in a positive way, like you're just going to barbecues and you're spending time with family. But I also feel like I want you guys to make sure you're taking the time out for this hobby thing, whatever it is, because I think that's going to really be a potential for growth and for a lot of success for you guys. So we just got vast vistas, expand your horizons, and miracles, expect the wondrous to emerge. What is happening for pile 4 in 2023, Spirit? Protected by angels and watching clouds, lie back, rest, and relax. So a lot of these cards are about you relaxing or just spending time kind of thinking about the things you like, you want, you love. And I do feel like once you guys put up the boundaries, like it's funny because it's almost like suddenly things become so much easier and you're kind of shocked and surprised at like, wow, like I didn't know this could be so easy, or I didn't know this would could be such a fun year, or I didn't know that like I was putting so much stress into this. And like, wow, my life is just so much better now. It's just, wow, it's so easy and it's so great. And I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting, or I wasn't paying attention to how much time I was giving to others. There is an energy of like a baby around some of you guys. That could be for you, or it could be for like a family member or a friend or something. But I keep seeing a little baby. And I just feel like if this is like a friend or a family member, there's just a message that like, you're so supportive of your family. But again, I really think you guys want to be spending time on you and your things and your interests, and almost like nurturing your own baby in your life, which I don't mean like a literal baby, although it might be, but I mean like also your projects, your own intentions. Like your life is just as important as everyone else's, you know? But I really like the idea of this creative project because it feels like it has so much potential to grow into like this huge, very big, expansive project that I feel like could take you even beyond your wildest dreams in this upcoming year. So the energy of you being creative, it feels like you're just very imaginative this year, and Spirit really wants you to lean into all of that and not be afraid or not be hesitant or not be second guessing yourself, because I do feel like you guys spend a lot of time doing that. And I feel like by the end of 2023, you're going to see so much forward momentum on that. Like there is a lot of potential to make a successful business out of it, to monetize it. And I feel like you're going to have these boundaries in place as you start monetizing it too. Like you're going to have to be able to tell people no, or to, set up boundaries for yourself, even with your time, because it's like, we have a limited amount of energy in this world, right? And if we give all our energy away to others, we're not going to have any left over for ourselves. So yeah, I think that is what I have for you guys. Pile 4, I really hope it resonated. Let me know if it did in the comments. I would love to know if you guys know what this creative project or hobby is. I would absolutely love to know what it is, or if you guys have been having issues with boundaries, let me know. I'm very curious. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, and make sure to hit the thumbs up button, hit the like, guys, and make sure to subscribe as well. I would love to have you here on our channel, and make sure to turn on notifications so you can find out as soon as I post and be the first to know. And if you guys would like to see more of my readings, then head on over to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. There's a lot of content over there, 35 additional readings, and when you sign up, you get access to all of them. So that's readings about love, career, spirituality, relocation, all kinds of topics for you to look through and choose from, and new ones go up all the time. So I would love to have you join our little Patreon party and see you over there. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sending you a big hug for the new year and lots of love and light, guys, and I'll see you guys very soon on here again. Take care. Bye.